Hello, my beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. I was privately coaching some master. I think he had peak GM sometimes, but he was like 3800 and so on. By the way, congratulations on hitting GM again, my friend. But I was private coaching him, and he asked me about who I thought was the strongest hero in the game and why and so on, so he could start learning that as a DPS. And really, I had to say, hands down, that in my opinion, the strongest hero in this game right now is, and for a while for that matter, is Hanzo. Hanzo is such a powerful hero in the game because you can use him at practically any situation, if you imagine. So with Hanzo, you're wall climb, so you can take position, you can take similar crossfire angles again. You can't be as far forward as you can't dash back, but you can take similar crossfire, therefore climb up, shoot over shield, take these weird angles, so you can access the back line and the DPS support of the enemy team, kind of bypassing shields. So you can do that with one-shot potential with headshots, 250 general headshots on tanks. You have rapid fire to melt tanks, to melt shields, to also make it easy for you to take down some support players. You have Sonic Arrow to both spot enemies, spot flankers, highlight them for your team in solo queue, because, you know, in solo queue not everyone has the same game sense. So if you see an Ana, for example, shooting from a corner, and you want the team to go for her, you can, for example, highlight her with a Sonic Arrow. It also makes you peeking stuff easier, for example, Widowmakers and Anas and other stuff, and or protecting yourself on high grounds with that Sonic Arrow. You have that, you have Leap, which you can aggressively peek a corner and or aggressively, you know, kite backwards again. So for example, if a Winston dives you and you're close to that, he leaps up, drops bubble, you can jump backward and either shoot or pop rapid fire and just launch rapid fire arrows straight into him. And that on top of it, you have Dragon Strike, and Dragon Strike is far more powerful than what people believe. In no way those people just run into it or doesn't have the game sense to dodge it a lot of the time, but it's so powerful. One, it's comboed with grab, of course, which is a instant team which well, it's not an instant team win, but it's very much close to that you're gonna win a team fight very convincingly. You can use it, of course, to force people off payload, especially if you shoot it across the payload. That's the thing that you should do, as it covers far more of the surface. You can use it to split enemies during attacks. For example, they want to push a first point on the horizontal con, they want to push up the stairs to the high ground. You can Dragon Strike straight down, splitting people in that staircase or killing everyone in tight corridors. You can use it to, in general, just split people off by shooting it across behind the Reinhardt so that he can't. Also, one of the great things, if you want to get frags with it, especially in like diamond range, if you shoot it a little bit behind, most people, if they're on the payload, for example, you see you Sonic Arrow the payload, you see there's an Ana there. If you shoot it a little bit behind the Ana, their normal instinct of support players when they hear their thing, or in general for a lot of players, especially in lower elos as always, is that when the dragon comes, they will move backwards because they'll be scared it's going to come from the front. And if you shoot behind them, they walk straight into it and die, right? It's in general a really good position. You can blind people, you can use it to shoot across and so on. He's also the only hero, theoretically, with a skin advantage, because if you've ever seen Hanzo's normal dragon skin, and then you watch him shoot an arrow with the Okami skin, or the Lone Wolf skin, the wolf's head are so much bigger that they actually block vision, so you can actually have difficulties seeing people with that skin on. So if you so there was a technique, there was a kind of thing. So if people were defending Dorado first point choke right down in the kind of the hill, there was something called riding the dragon. So you would shoot the dragon straight through the choke, and if you have the Okama skin, then you would blind them so they couldn't practically see through that dragon strike. So it was almost like a aggressive, damaging smoke. And then you would amp speed your tanks through there, because you would force the enemy team that had the really nice setup to move out of the way, normally either splitting an uncoordinated team, or in general just pushing them out of the choke, allowing your players to advance through this first choke point, making the enemy team give it up for free, because they couldn't contest inside of that Hanzo dragon. And that's why Hanzo, in my opinion, is so much more broken than anyone. If you have Widow, yes, you have far more long-range consistent headshots, which is also one-shots on squish and so on, but you can't break shields, and it's more difficult to nuke tanks, right? As yes, you can land headshot, but with rapid fire you can just do it so much more consistently for a lot of players. Also, she doesn't break. It's not like if you miss a shot on Hanzo, or you land a body shot on Hanzo, all of a sudden you didn't do good as it. With Widowmaker, it's so consistent. You need to hit those consistent headshots all the time, fully charged and so on. with not always with Hanzo, because again, of rapid fire, and the faster you can fire 2 fast successive arrows with much higher fire rate and so on, and that just does that. Hanzo, in my opinion, outscales and outstats most DPS here in the game. He can do a lot, which Genji can do, just not full in. He can, but instead of full in, he just shoots arrow. So he's like a Widow in range, but damage like I don't fucking know, a fucking million bastions. It's, in my opinion, just one of the strongest DPS heroes right now, because he is so broken and busted, and he's my go-to counter a lot of time in GM, just because with Hanzo I can even counter goats, because I can nuke tanks and I can pick off supports. I can pick off the supports, I can nuke the tanks, I can remove the shields, I can demake divas, I can dragon strike to force the goats to split off or isolate certain individual characters and so on. And that's why, in my opinion, Hanzo is such a broken hero, and if you wanna easily rank up in this game, or easily quote unquote, if you want a very strong hero in the game, then you should consider trying to learn Hanzo, especially if you already are decent accuracy wise, especially projectile wise. In my opinion, that's what you should be trying to take a look at. I would love to hear, who do you believe in the DPS category is the strongest hero? Do you agree with me? Do you think Tracer? Do you maybe think Widow? Do you think Ashe? Do you have another opinion than me? I would love to hear that. And as always, guys, if you're interested in hiring me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze top 500 or if you play for a team or not. If you can get a VOD to me, I can help you get coached, improve, and get better at the game, and hopefully rank up. So hit me up on our Discord server, which I'll link to that with my Twitter and Twitch down in the description below. I love you guys very, very much. Please take care of yourselves, stay positive, and as always, guys, keep the enemy in your crosshair.